The heat presses down on me, wrapping me in its suffocating grip. I want to mourn them, but I don't know if they deserve it. What were they? Were they cruel, kind, wise, foolish? Did they strip the earth bare, spill blood in the sand? Or were they poets and healers, builders of beauty and harmony? The ruins give no answers. They do not accuse, nor do they forgive. I do not know if this beach belongs to an empire or a single village. Did this collapse happen all at once, in a storm of violence and fire? Or did it erode over centuries, crumbling piece by piece like cliffs into the sea? Did they die here, or did they flee? The pillars seem to weep for them, but I cannot tell if the weeping is out of sorrow or guilt. The waves lap gently at the shore, their rhythm indifferent to all of it. They are not like me. They have no questions, no grief. I look out to the horizon, where the ocean stretches endlessly, shimmering with sunlight that blinds more than it reveals. Perhaps everything they built was always doomed to be swallowed by this endless, devouring blue. I wonder if they knew it, if they fought against it, or surrendered to it. Did they dream of permanence and immortality? Or did they build with the quiet knowledge that nothing lasts forever? The horizon sways with the glint of light on water, a mocking promise of something beyond this place, something not yet ruined. And yet, I cannot leave. Not yet. The ember of hope falters as the landscape shifts. The beach narrows into a rocky shoal where jagged stones push through the sand like the vertebrae of some buried leviathan. Seaweed clings to the rocks in greasy ribbons, and the smell of rot grows stronger. I pick my way carefully, though the sharp edges bite at my soles, and the tide pools glimmer with the faint threat of hidden things. I press onward, skirting the edges of the surf, where the water darkens the sand to a rich, almost black hue. My feet leave impressions that the waves erase as quickly as I make them, as if the ocean itself refuses to remember me. A shattered wooden beam, half buried in the sand, catches my eye. Its edges are splintered, its surface worn smooth in places by time and tide. I run my fingers over it, feeling the faint grooves of a pattern that might once have been purposeful. Was this carved by hands, human hands, or by the careless erosion of the sea? I kneel beside it, tracing lines that might be letters, symbols, or just the jagged remnants of decay. It feels ancient, but not eternal. Nothing here is eternal. And yet they still stand, broken, battered, and incomplete, but still standing. But someone has been here, recently. Piles of trash rot among the bushes and grass, crushed cans, frayed tarps, a torn shoe. A rusted fire pit, still half filled with ash, crouches near a cluster of bent reeds. Someone has taken shelter in this ruin, but they are gone now, leaving only their refuse. Were they scavengers like me, wandering and wondering? Or were they the last echoes of the ones who built this place, clinging to their world long after it crumbled? Farther inland, the ground rises slightly, forming a narrow ridge lined with tangled grasses and scrubby bushes. Among them, I find more signs of life, or rather, of survival. A heap of clothing, stiff with salt and dirt, lies abandoned beneath a makeshift shelter of driftwood and tarp. The clothes are strange to me, their shapes unfamiliar, their colours faded to the dullness of old wounds. I lift a shirt, holding it gingerly as if it might still contain the warmth of its owner. But it is cold, lifeless, like everything else. Who were they, these scavengers who came after the builders? Were they the inheritors of this ruin, or were they outsiders, opportunists? Did they find comfort here, among the ghosts? Or did they fear the weight of what had been left behind? The fire pit tells me they lingered, at least for a time. Perhaps they too asked the questions I now ask, staring into the flames for answers that never came. As I climb higher, the detritus thickens. Rusted metal juts from the earth like jagged claws. Glass shards glitter in the sunlight, their edges dulled by sand and time. A half-crushed barrel leans against a concrete slab, its surface painted with flaking streaks of red. It is chaotic, almost violent, as if the earth itself rejected these remnants, spewing them out like bones from a long-dead beast. And yet, there is a terrible beauty here. The sun, merciless as it is, casts long shadows across the ruins, painting them with an austere kind of dignity. The wind stirs the grass and the scattered papers, carrying with it a sound like distant whispers. For all its desolation, this place still breathes. It is not alive, but it is not entirely dead either. rise suddenly, as if holding its breath. The air grows thick, pressing against my skin like an unseen hand. The ruins stretch before me, a tapestry of splintered wood, shattered stone, and creeping shadows. For the first time, I sense something familiar, not in the shapes or the decay, but in the feeling of it, the way it gnaws at the edges of my thoughts, its silence heavy with recognition. The sun, now a molten orb sinking into the ocean, casts everything in shades of crimson and gold. The pillars on the beach seem to lean toward me now, their cracked forms like broken fingers pointing my way. I shiver despite the heat. Something is wrong. I crouch beside a concrete slab, its surface etched with faint lines. They catch the light just so, their shapes coalescing into something I cannot ignore. I run my fingers along the grooves, tracing them with growing dread. They are marks of my own making, symbols I once knew, designs I once drew. A wave crashes, louder than before, though the tide is still gentle. The sound reverberates through my chest, through my bones, through the ground beneath me. The realization hits like the breaking of a dam, flooding my mind with memories I didn't know I had, or perhaps didn't want to remember. This ruin is mine. I built it. I see it now, as clear as the sky above. The wooden pillars, once proud and straight, were mine to shape, their lines carved by my hands. The concrete blocks, their strange, impenetrable forms, were born of my designs, my ambitions. The tools in the charred ruin, the hammer, the knife, the saw. I held them, wielded them, relied on them. I created this place, piece by piece, in my own image, and I destroyed it. The fire that scorched the walls, the ash that clings to the air, the chaos strewn across the sand. It was all my doing. I see it now, the reckless striving, the desperate grasp for permanence, the blind ambition that consumed itself. I built this civilization not for others, but for myself, out of pride, out of fear, out of a need to leave my mark. And when it began to crumble, I turned away. The truth is unbearable and undeniable. These ruins are not just a monument to a lost world. They are a mirror, reflecting the chaos and decay within me. Every broken pillar, every cracked stone, every pile of discarded trash is a piece of me, scattered and forgotten, rotting under the weight of my own neglect. The wind picks up again, carrying the scent of salt and ruin. It cuts through me, sharp and cold, stripping away the last of my illusions. I stand there, staring at the ruins with new eyes. They are not someone else's failure. They are mine. I pause at the top of the ridge and look back toward the water. From here, the pillars stretch out in long, uneven lines, their reflections shimmering in the shallows. They remind me of ribs, the skeletal remains of some great creature that once towered over this land. Did it die a slow death, its heart giving out one beat at a time? Or was it struck down all at once, brought low by some unseen catastrophe? The answer doesn't matter. It is dead all the same. And yet, as I stand there, I cannot shake the feeling that something lingers. An echo, a memory, perhaps even a warning. The ruins do not speak, but their silence feels heavy, as if it is filled with words I cannot understand. I close my eyes, letting the wind whip past me. It carries the scent of salt and decay, mingled with something faintly sweet. Wildflowers, maybe, struggling to grow in the cracks of this forgotten place. For a moment, I imagine the people who lived here. I see them walking among the pillars, laughing, shouting, living. I see children running barefoot in the sand, their faces bright with joy. I see workers sweating under the sun, carving stone, shaping wood, building something they believed would last. And then I see the end. I see fire and water, storms and starvation, violence and despair. I see them fleeing, or fighting, or simply collapsing under the weight of it all. I see the pillars falling, the concrete cracking, the trash piling up as the tide washes away the last traces of order. When I open my eyes, the vision is gone. All that remains is the sun, the sand, the water, and the ruins. I am alone, surrounded by questions that have no answers. I turn and begin to walk again, my shadow stretching long before me. The beach seems endless, and I know I could wander it forever, searching for meaning in the wreckage of a world that no longer exists. But perhaps there is no meaning. Perhaps this is all there is. The rise and fall, the building and the breaking, the forgetting and the silence. And yet, as I walk, I feel something stir within me, a faint, flickering ember of hope. Not for this place, or for the people who built it, but for the simple act of walking, of looking, of asking. Perhaps that is all we can do, to bear witness, to remember, even if we do not understand. To walk among the ruins and to keep walking, even as the waves erase our footsteps behind us.